is a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
This is your moment, it's time to rise up. Conquer them all, watch as they fall. There's nothing left in your way. Prove to yourself, there's nobody else. Raise up your head and leave no man standing. No man standing. Numb to the pain, no one to blame. Breaking the weak as they fall.
Hey, what's going on, webheads? This is Critical Redemption. We'll be doing a game review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This game was released for 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One digital download. So, in other words, this takes place after the events of the first Amazing Spider-Man game. In other words, this game came out around the same time the film came out, before the film came out, actually a couple of days after. In other words, if you're going into The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on any system, hoping for any kind of transcendent next-gen experience, okay, you'll probably wind up more than a little disappointed with the graphics. There are a few places that have some nice-looking visuals, but in general, there's nothing here that you could have gotten on a previous generation console. So take that with a grain of salt before you play this game. Now, if you're going into it simply hoping for another enjoyable Spider-Man game from BNX, then the news is a little better. Basically, they took everything they made their last Spidey game good and duplicated it. You want a big populated New York City to swing in around in? Alright, it's here. You want a bustling city full of people and, more importantly, crimes to fight? Also here too. Round that out with a whole bunch of bad guys to fight and all kinds of collectibles to find, and you have all the ingredients for a fun superhero game. Perhaps the best aspect of this game, however, is what's not here. Specifically, rather than trying that game with the events of the overlong movie, what goes on here is only tangentially related to the film. So yes, they have the characters in this film, in the game from the film, but you won't get spoiled, so don't worry about it. There's some overlap in that this game also features Spider-Man, Harry Osborn, and company, but in general the game is designed to stand up on its own events, and as I said, it's got quite a few of those. Whatever drawbacks there may be in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 not looking as good as some of the other next-gen games, they're more than made up for by the volume of other fun little things you could do. The comic book floating around the city, all of which are stored in the comic shop of name Stan Lee. You go into his comic book shop, you could see the collectibles that you have unlocked, all the comic book, you could actually read them. The wide range of different Spidey suits waiting to be unlocked at Aunt May's house. The way crime seems to increase and get more and more urgent the further you get into the game, as you progress through the game. Also, those things and more go into making The Amazing Spider-Man 2's New York City a fun place to live. So, a lot of people were complaining about that this game did not offer what the first game offered. Well, I totally disagree on that. Reason why is because this game's web swinging is a lot better than the first game. People had many complaints in the first game saying that the web swinging was too simple and you were swinging to basically swinging in the air. Okay, people were complaining about how they wanted the webs to stick to the buildings. BNX gave us that in this game, and you have to use the left and right trigger in order for Spider-Man to swing correctly. Yes, it's kind of complicated in the beginning, but you begin to get used to it really quick. And then people were complaining, oh, it's too hard to use. I mean, come on. I mean, it's a Spider-Man game. You have to get comfortable with the controls. I mean, it's really simple. You know, left is for left and right is for right, and then he sticks to the buildings. I don't know why people were complaining about that, but I understand, of course, that some people may be skeptical about this game. I beat this game within, you know, I took my time. I like taking my time with games, especially superhero games. A lot of people beat this with a playthrough of 7 to 10 hours. I beat this within 2 days. Took my time, you know, I didn't collect every single comic book in the game. I still have a few suits to unlock, maybe like 3 or 4 left. And also I do want to mention is, in order to unlock the suits, you have to go into these Russian hideouts. And what these Russian hideouts do is you swing to them. Some will be located in a sewer, some will be located in the ground, or some type of tunnel or something. You go in there, you have to use stealth in order for Spider-Man to get to that specific spot to unlock the suit. It's like this little chamber, and you press Y if you're on an Xbox, and he opens up the thing, types on the computer, and unlocks the suit. So it's very fun. I like the stealth in this game. The stealth was very impressive. A couple other things that people were complaining about was the fighting mechanics and also the stealth. The stealth is well done in this game. I mean, it follows the it kind of copies what Arkham City does, and what I mean by that is the fighting mechanics, the stealth, hiding hiding on like a ledge or on top of a roof or something, and then instead of grappling the guy, you're webbing them and picking them up and webbing them in the air. I mean, it's a fun game. It's a superhero game and it's based on a movie, but this is one thing I do have to say: it's not based on the film. You won't get spoiled at all, and you'll be able to play it without any problems. Another thing I really liked in this game that the fans really wanted and they received it was you get to play as Peter Parker. In the first Amazing Spider-Man game, you got to play as him in the beginning, sequence first-person view. You walk through the game and you didn't really get to see Peter you went to his apartment, but you couldn't play as him. In this game, you freaking play as Peter Parker. I mean, it's fun. You start off the game trying to find Uncle Ben's killer, and you're playing as Peter in the beginning. That's no spoiler because that was shown at a couple of events. But yeah, it's a fun game, and they also have this Mass Effect feel to it. You could go up to characters like villains, Aunt May, when you go to her house, and you could actually interact with them. And they give you dialogue choices, which is pretty cool. And what I mean by Mass Effect is you could choose what you want to say. You could choose from a couple of different sentences and then have a conversation with that character. That's what they did in Mass Effect, and it was pretty impressive in this game. Okay, the whole thing about Andrew Garfield's face or look-alike being Peter, it's not Andrew Garfield. It looked like in the trailers that it was going to be his face, but when they showed the gameplay, everyone was like, whoa, why is his face different from Garfield's? Garfield didn't sign anything to being related to this game. They didn't use his likeness, and they totally didn't use his voice. Sam Riegel reprises his role as Peter, aka Spider-Man, and I think he really did a good job. He played Donatello in the 2003 TMNT series, and he's a really good voice actor. He's been in a lot of animated series shows, and he fits Peter perfectly. I liked him in the first game, and second game he just blows it out of the water. Let's see here. Also, another thing I wanted to say is when you're doing the Russian hideouts, be careful not to be caught because it will make you start from the beginning. Another thing I also have to say is Black Cat is back in this game, and the whole Carnage Killer thing, I'm not going to ruin what happens at the end, but it's pretty cool. You get to fight a couple of awesome baddies. You get to fight Electro, you could fight the Green Goblin, aka Harry, You run into Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, Kingpin. Fighting Kingpin was a pain in the ass for me. I literally had to fight him 5 times. I died 5 times until I finally figured out how to beat him. I won't spoil that. Also, you could fight, who's the other person you could fight in the game? A couple of just regular thugs. You also get to fight Cletus Cassidy in human form before he becomes Carnage. So overall, I really like this game. I mean, it had its flaws. I mean, sometimes I'd see glitches when web swinging. I'd run into a building and I'd go right through it. That was a kind of a downfall for me. The story could have been a little bit longer, but the overall ending and conclusion to it was pretty cool, and it leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. Rating for this game, I rated the first Amazing Spider-Man game at give it an 8.5. This game, you know, people may say, oh, you're giving it too high of a score. No, I give it a 7.5. It's a good game. It's a good Spider-Man game, but it's not the best Spider-Man game. It still doesn't top up with the original Spider-Man 2 video game, and also Web of Shadows and Shattered Dimensions, because those are really 3 good Spider-Man games. But for any Spider-Man fan, you know, this game right now is $49.99 on the new systems and old gens. Pick it up if you're a Spider-Man fan. If not, wait, you know, Redbox it, Gamefly it, or once it drops to $20, definitely pick it up. It's really worth a playthrough. So yeah, it's a 7.5 for me. That's my final score. My next game I'll probably be reviewing is Watch Dogs. Currently playing that right now. I'm not even done with it yet, so I'll be reviewing that as soon as I'm done. That's all I have to say for this game. 7.5. That's a solid score, in my opinion. So I'll talk to you guys later. This is Critical Redemption. Happy gaming.